A very good afternoon, everybody. Well, I'm quite happy to see good number of mails coming in to me with the TDL codes, and most of you have been working hard and are able to write or complete the codes. I am pretty happy about it. I think to most of you I have responded. If I haven't responded, I might have missed on the mail. So please do write back to me in case I have missed on your mail. Okay? I think more or less everybody I have responded. Correct? Is there somebody to whose mail I haven't responded? I have responded, right? Everybody. Great. One common mistake, or probably the common thing that I've noticed across all the codes is you are creating individual files and you are providing the same definition names across all the files. So when you write and when you merge all these files into one project, it won't work. So please ensure that either you reuse the same definition or else provide a new definition name. Now for an example, if I have to have everything under one project, I cannot have the same report name across all my projects. I cannot have. The file will work individually. As a text file, it works perfectly fine. But when you merge them into one project, you will get errors. So this was one common mistake. Two, there is no spacing, no indent, nothing. You need to follow a coding standard, otherwise you cannot troubleshoot the code file. Even if after 5 days, it will be difficult for you to troubleshoot the code. So naming conventions, spacing conventions, the coding standard that I have been maintaining in our code has to be maintained. Just that it becomes difficult for you people to follow this, right? Apart from this, just a minute, please. Hello? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Actually, I'm in a web session. Can you call me tomorrow at 10, please? Right. Thank you. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Are you able to hear me? Extremely sorry, I had some difficulty with my wires, it was disconnected. Right. So, are you able to hear me now, everyone? Thank you, Muthu. Right. So, we're discussing about the general difficulties that I felt across the code. Now, in case you have a difficulty, please raise your hand so we can first clear up those difficulties and then we move on to the next part of the session. No questions? Everybody is okay with what we have done till now? Okay, fine. Right. So we'll go ahead with what we have done. So first we'll quickly summarize what we have done yesterday. We spoke about objects. So object stores a hierarchical structure, it is a tree-like structure made up of methods, and a primary object is made up of methods and sub-collections. Methods are used to retrieve the data, and a sub-collection is a group of sub-objects or similar, okay? So this is how a basic structure looks like. An object containing methods and sub-collections. This sub-collection has further sub-objects. Again, each object contains methods and sub-collection, and this continues to be in the hierarchy till we reach a level where object only has a method. This is a basic classification that we do of object types in Tally. Sorry, object types in TDL. Interface objects and data objects. Interface objects is report, menu, button, and table. Data objects are internal objects and TDL objects. Internal objects are those objects which are available in default. TDL objects can be hard-coded or could be from other sources, external source. We'll be covering the hard-coded or the static TDL object. We spoke about the object context. Every interface that you see in Tally exists in the context of a data object. The association of the data to an interface can be done as report, path, line, and field. Then the data manipulation. We spoke about the manipulation of data. It can be done only through an interface object. Then we spoke about the value of methods or formulas on the basis of which they are evaluated. So we did write a code yesterday where I simply had a repeat line and I wrote something called as collection destination, which had type ledger, and I said that I gave $name. So at that given point of time, $name retrieved my name of the ledger. The moment I changed my collection type to object stock item, the $name retrieved me the name of my stock item. Isn't it something? This is what we were thinking about. The evaluation of the formula or the method will depend upon the object context that you have provided. Is this clear to everybody? Right. Now, what's a collection? A collection can be a group of objects or collections or both. So, if this collection is a primary collection, which can hold a group of primary objects or more collections of a primary collection or both of them together. This can be populated from various data sources. The collection we define within the default TDL is referred as internal collection. There are two types of collections, a simple collection and a compound collection. What's a simple collection? A collection which holds a single method is called simple collection. Something that you see for your addresses is a single method collection. And a compound collection is nothing but which has multiple methods and collection within it. Then we saw the collection of internal objects. We created a collection and we saw. We get to do with this, but we'll do this in much more detail. When we talked about object association, as we said, every interface object always is in context of a data object, and association of an interface and the data has to be done. As we spoke about the interfaces, report, path, line, and field is where I can connect my object. Question is, how do I do that? Very simple. If it's a single object that you need to call across your report, then at the report level, we have an object attribute. This allows me to set one single object. That means I can fetch one ledger object. That could be the name of the say cash ledger. The object attribute at report level will fetch me a single ledger, single object So please remember, I don't remember who, but somebody had returned at report level object voucher and at repeat line had given collection which is a type voucher. It becomes meaningless when you have an object at report level. So as I said, I can do the association, I can do this object context search, but it is not necessary that I have to do it always. So even depending upon your requirement, you have to connect your object context search. Okay? So at report level, there is an attribute called object. This object attribute helps me to fetch a single object value. This could be of type ledger with the name cash. That's the only details can be fetched if I have an object attribute at report level. At part level, we have two attributes, object and object ES. At part level, I can have an object only if it is connected to a primary object at report level. This means at report level, if the attribute object is specified, there is a possibility of me using an object at part level. Right? And so this object at report level, the attribute object at report level accepts a primary object type to be associated. However, the object at the part level expects a secondary object for association. However, object EX attribute at part level allows me to associate my parts to a primary object. Here, to a primary object. So a report attribute object allows me to associate my interface to a primary object, and at part level object EX allows me to associate it to a primary object. Clear, everybody? Everybody, Joseph, Muthu, where is your responses? I see only one person responding. So do I consider only one person understanding it? Rachna, Shahid, Thomas. Right. Then at 9 level association, there is an attribute at part level, repeat, which allows me to associate my line to an object, or probably the object that is a collection, which could be a primary collection or a secondary collection, which could be a primary collection or a secondary collection, depending upon the output that you need. If my report level object association is voucher, then the repeat line can have ledger details to be repeated from that particular voucher, or my repeat line collection can also be a collection of a primary of a primary object type voucher. Fine. So again, the repeat depends upon your requirement. Am I clear? Great. So then there is an attribute called field. At field there is an attribute called object. This attribute always accepts a secondary object. As I said, it's the rarest of rare cases where you would require this. Again, I'm saying it is not that you will not require it, but you might require it. Fair enough? Right. Once an object is associated as part, the child inherits it. However, in case as a child you have explicitly mentioned an object, that is what will be carried forward by the child. So these are the examples. Right? And we did this, and we did this. We wrote a report which showed me the name of the stock item, its group, its closing balance. So at report level, we made an object association of stock item. For doing this at report level, I had an object association of stock item, and at part level an object association of batch allocation. Then we did display this. At report level, we had an object association of stock item. In this report, we had another part in which we made use of object EX to change my object context to ledger and I get my output. Then we did the list of stock items and I showed how the method evaluation changes depending upon the object association at collection. We are yet to do this hard-coded agent name and commission agent using hard-coded objects. So, up to this, everybody clear with this? Right? So, today we'll create a report from a hard-coded object. Fair enough? So, right click, properties, new file, list of commission agents, and save. Oops. Okay, I do need to do it here. List of commission agents. Save. Right. So again, hash menu colon display menu. So I did have to, yeah. I had my separate menu here. So I will just add another one here. Key items, list of agents, a display TSTL list of agents. Clear? What did I do? Add a key item. Which item? List of agents. What is the key? A. What should it do? Display. Display what report? List of agents. So copy and list of agents. Report. Report has a form and the title. Form with the cards. Cards has a line. Has a field. So everybody clear what structure we are creating? I do agree for some people you might be feeling it's a very repetitive task, but it is very important to keep understanding the basics of the default components and the structure. Everybody clear till here? Great. So we'll just have a look at my output. Select my company, display, try it out. It didn't get added. Why? Please understand that there is a new file added to the project, and because of which the refresh of TDLs do not work here. So you need to quit Tally and then the file gets loaded. Everybody clear? The file loading does not happen. The code refreshment happens. So I need to quit Tally and come back. Okay? Select and now see display, try it out, list of agents. Yes, I'm getting my agent name. Great. Here, I do not want my user to create my agent. I will give him some static list of agents with the commission percentage. I know, generally it's not like that. The agent names are never static. But we take a very vague example. Generally, the standards and the divisions that schools have are static. That something is static, or more or less the kind of departments they hold are static. So that kind of listing can be done. We all know, I mean, commission agent is something very similar to everybody. So we'll create the names of the agent and the commission. But I do not want my user to do this. We will fix this list for him. So, but for that, again, I would require a repeat line. So I will have a repeat line. But have you noticed something in default time? every report you enter has a repeat line and a title line. In default Tally, every report has a title line and a repeat line. So why aren't we providing a title line? So let's provide a title line. Okay, and I will have a body line. Title line and then the body line. My repeat line will be my body line. Repeat which line? The body line. On what? TSPL agent collection. And as I said, every repeat line has to go with a scroll vertical. It is always better to do that. And we just design the report first. So now I will have a title line and I should have a body line. Right? Structure clear to everybody? A report contains form. Form contains report contains form. Report title. Now, where does this title display? Here. The one which you see in the green banner left top is what you see on your screen. So this is what you will see there. The form contains a part. A part contains lines. One line will be the title line, that is date, particular, VCH type, this title, and then will be a line which will be repeated. So this is what will get repeated, and every repeat line has to be a selection. So this is very important line for me. So I will provide fields to it. I currently will have just 2 fields. So let us have 3 fields. So one field will be TSPL agent name, TSPL agent date of joining DOJ, TSPL agent commission percent. Fine. So now we have 3 fields. Obviously, if my body has 3 fields, my title should also have 3 fields. Right or wrong? Yes or no? Right? So if my body part has 3 fields, my title should also have 3 fields. Then only they will map. So what will I do is, I will use the same field. Why do I use the same field is because the moment I use different fields, I will have to map the dimensions. So that becomes a little cumbersome thing for us. So field, we create the fields first. TSPL agent name. As I told, we have some predefined list of template fields. So use name field such as, right now we hard code the value name, then we have TSPL agent, then the date of joining. So the way we have a template field for name, we also have for date. So how do I know where it is? Left hand side, do you see default TDL? The project, open it. Here we have file name called field.500, and you can just go to this field, template src field.tdl. This is the field. This file has all, more or less, whatever template fields you require is here. Short date field, uni date field. So for our date field, I will take uni date field. And that as date, and for commission percentage we have now this is supposed to be a number field, right? Because commission is generally percentage and it's a number field. So say 10% or 2% is number field, and set as hardcoded percentage. Everybody, are you able to follow what we have done up to now? Brand Park, are you able to follow? Joseph, could you just clear up what exactly did you not understand? Joseph, are you clear on what we are writing on the, writing in the code? Okay. Can you see the screen now? Okay. Are you clear what you are seeing on the screen? Great. Okay. So there is a question from Muthu. Uni date field is the format for date, so text date is okay, is a question. Good question and good observing. It will not show me. Right? You're absolutely right, but I need to provide some syntax, so that's the reason why I have given it text, but it won't give me the text as my output. Okay. The question from Muthu is, this is the question that you see on your chat screen. Muthu has asked this question, uni date field is the format for date, so the text date is okay. That's the question he asked. The answer is no, it's not okay, obviously. But just to provide something into my sentence, that's the reason why I have given date. Is this okay to everybody? Clear, everybody? Why I have given this text? So this is ready. My body is ready. I need to have my title. Obviously, I have the same fields to be given, so I will use the same fields. But you know what? Only thing that I will have to change is locally change their syntax. So local field TSQL agent name. Okay. Now there's a new attribute that I am introducing to you called info. And the title name would be agent name. Everybody is able to see my screen? Right? Now, first, did you understand why did I copy paste these field names here? I do not want to use separate fields for these title line and the body line, otherwise the alignment will go for a toss, because then the width of my title line would be different and the width of my body line will be different. So body field will be different. I don't want to fall into that problem. So to ensure that there is no alignment problem or outage, I simply calling the same set of fields that I have in my body part. Then locally I am calling that field and just changing its text. Now there has to be a question. If you don't have this question, what is the difference between an info and set as? Info will also give you the text and set as will also give you the text. Then what is the difference? Okay, the difference between a set as and info cannot be seen when the report is in display mode. However, when you open the same report in an alter mode is when you will actually see the difference. What happens is, there are certain labels when you are in Tally, certain things act as labels and certain things provide the initial values which you can modify. For an example, here you see the screen of Tally. Okay, I will press F12 and skip date. Yes. Now see, by default my cursor does not go on to the date. It is giving me an hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Are you able to hear me now? Everybody? Great. Right. So we were talking about the difference between an info and skip. Now, what's the difference between an info and skip? If you can see at your Tally screen, there are certain areas in Tally here. So what do we do is, although I am not able to modify this, when I change my date here, it refreshes this, right? But something like my account, this does not get refreshed. So something that acts as a label is info. It's a combination of two attributes, that is set as and skip together. Now, why do I provide a set as and I do not allow my users to skip and I still have allowing my users to skip it, set as gives you the initial value. However, when the cursor is placed there, you can change the value. So when I enter my report, my initial value is provided and I can modify it. So this is a set as. Whereas info, it is something that is non-modifiable at this point. So my account is an info because I cannot modify this text. Although my 4th October is modifiable, my cursor is on that particular field. So the initial value is provided, and I can still skip further to change my value. So that's set as. Here, everybody. So difference between an info and set as will be clearly seen when we write an alter report. You cannot see a difference in a display report, but you will have to use it very frequently when you create an alter report. Fair enough? So now I have a second field, date of joining. And I have another field, local field, TSPL agent commission. See, I see that the indenting is not happening, so I have to ensure that the indent happens properly. Info, commission, in percentage. I have a question. Why did we use scroll vertical on the line section? As I mentioned, Joseph, whenever there's a repeat line, a scroll vertical is always important. If I don't know whether you missed yesterday's session, but I did show the moment I didn't have scroll, it tried to compress my entire data into one screen, and the writing was so small, it was in non-readable format. It was like just looking like bar graphs to me. So when I say scroll vertical is only when it allows me to get this functionality. This is what I'm able to do only because I have scroll vertical in my part level. If I remove the scroll vertical, it does not allow me to scroll, which means it will try to compress whatever data it is getting into that collection, and when it's a 15,000 line to compress in one screen, it is so small that you cannot read it. So to allow the scroll to happen up and down is why we have scroll vertical. Have I answered your question? Okay. Right. And so I have my I have my titles and things, right? So let us just check the output of this code. So before I check the output, we'll definitely have a compilation to be done. So right click, compile, does not show any syntactical errors. So let's execute this code and see what's the output. Error in TDL collection, TSPL agent collection could not find description. I go to Tally Developer. I have said repeat my line on my collection name, but I haven't defined the collection. my tally closes. So now I have to define this collection and collection name. Now, the agent names that we are creating, is it from the internal object type? Is it an internal collection? Yes or no? It's not, right? We are going to create a static list. So I cannot use the attribute type, because I can use attribute type only if it's if the collection is a part of the internal objects that I need. So what do I need? What is a collection made up of? What is the collection made up of? Muthu, collection is made up of objects and collections or collections, not of methods. Objects are made up of methods and sub-collections, but a primary collection is made up of objects or collections or both. So, Alai, you need to send me your address, okay? I'll be sending a gift to you at the end of the sessions, right? The person who answers the right answers highest, I'll be sending you a gift. So a collection is made up of objects or collections or both. Object is made up of methods or sub-collections. These sub-collections are made up of sub-objects, and in turn this hierarchy continues till we reach a level where an object only has methods. So now this collection cannot have internal, so cannot have type. A collection can have collection, but I don't have a collection, so can have objects. So I will define object. Now, depending how many objects I provide, that many agent names will be listed. So I create agent obj1. Right now I'll just create 2. So 2. Okay. Now, object requires definition. Definitions are not available. So I will create an object. Now what does an object contain of? Object is made up of methods and collections. But I do not have collections, I just need to display some values like the name, date of joining, and percentages. So absolutely right, methods and collections, but I don't have collections, I will make my object only of methods. But how do I know what method and what value? Now this is where the developer has his freedom to create his own method names and provide values. So again, following a standard that we have, for name we use the method name. So this is also developer defined, and I give my value. Then there is a method called DOJ, that's the date of joining. I give 05-06-02010, and commission percent I give as 2 Now, as I said, a collection is a group of objects of similar kind. That means they should have the same set of method names. Values can differ, not the method names. So, I will just copy paste this to make my work easier, and I will only change my, and this I will make it as 24 10 1998 and commission percent 8%. Right? Everybody, are you clear what we did? I have a repeat line. Repeat line is on a collection. I do not have anything created internal. So I am creating hard-coded objects. These are non-modifiable objects. I have created 2 objects. Now this object has method names that a developer has created called name, DOJ and commission percent. Now because these objects have to belong to a same collection, they have the same set of method names, only the values will vary. Everybody clear? Joseph, are you clear? Joseph. Right. What about Muttu?
Ma'am, one doubt.
Yes, Brandmark.
Yeah. Like example, right now we are making a hardcoded object and everything, right? Like in Tally, how we can pull the objects, like existing Tally. Can you show that example also one? Like one object existing Tally you are pulling.
That's what we did yesterday, right? This is an extending Tally.
Okay, same way. Then one more, like right now we are having that name and everything, the objects, correct?
Yes.
Name and everything. Okay. How we will come to know in Tally that particular name is provided? Like in existing in Tally developer, is there any tool to look for that names?
Did you
like
miss?
In developer,
did you
I know.
miss yesterday's session?
No, I am in yesterday's session. We did the practice also. I will send you the TDL. Like we tried to do something, but we are not getting that object name. What we did is, we opened Tally in Tally developer mode to check that field name. And we find that field, so what storage they provided to get that object.
Okay.
Okay, we are not getting the proper result in that stock item. This quantity, this, that, everything we are getting. But we are having multi-locations. So I want to get in my report 2 locations, separate list, columns.
That is a support request. You can get the support troubleshooter from the support team. But this is the list of objects that are available, internal objects of Tally. This is the schema list that we have. This is an internal list of objects that Tally has. Now if I want to look something for that is available in type ledger, this is how I can. This is the method names. That's the notepad that you see are the list of method names. And the green books are the name of the collection. When I double click, this is the name of the sub object. Double click, these are the name of the methods available in this object. Again, this is the name of the sub collection available under bill allocation, ledger bill allocation, which is carrying the sub object called interest collection, and these are the methods. So this is how Tally schema helps you to get the list of methods and the internal objects that Tally has.
We have to use it here, like 1 dot or 2 dot, drilling down to get the data.
I didn't get your point. Yeah, tell me.
Like example, okay, I will send you my code. If you are giving me 10-15 minutes, I can send my codes.
We'll take that later on. Right now we continue with this training, and probably your question will get answered during the training session. Okay? Yeah. So These are the names of the methods that a developer can create. Since these objects are under the same collection, they will have the same set of method names. The values will vary. And now what we will do is, we will replace these texts. So this is the name of my method. So $name, date of joining, so $DOJ, and $commission percentage. Fair enough? So let's see how does my output look like. Display, try it out, commission agent, and this is how my output looks like. But I am not happy with the output because the date of joining and commission and percentage, the text is too small. So what we'll do is, one, we will first increase a bit of width for my date of joining. The width at least has to be 2, that is 2 for the month, 2 for the date, and 4 for my, what do we say, the year, 2 for the hyphen, so 10, and we'll give 2 additional places, so it becomes 12. But the text that I see does not seem to be very clear to me. Here, I will change the text to the text style, local field, default stands for all fields, style, normal, bold. So my title is normal, bold. Then another thing that we should have is the number field. The commission should show percentage sign. So I change this to, there is an attribute called format. Here I can say percentage, which means you show me in percentages. F12, TDL, F4. It is showing me in percentage. Then this is nothing but beautifying the code. Then obviously this entire text should be aligned. The titles always should be centralized. So I will align the text of my titles to center. A-L-I-G. Align A. Yeah, align it center. Right? Another thing, still the commission percentage that I see is not broken up. So now I do not know how many lines will it need to break itself such that it fits into that, such that it is visible to me and I do not have to break it. So there is an attribute called line, and when I write 0, the title field automatically breaks the text into the field with area divided by the string length, and that many lines will get generated automatically within the field. So F12, TDL, F4, and here. You see this? commission percentage automatically broken up. Obviously, it does not look neat, but what you can do is we can increase a bit of width here, and we can make it little, say 12. So at least, yeah, see? And then if I want, I can align this text, because generally numbers are from the right. I can say align it right. You see this? And there has to be a border between the top line and the bottom line, the title line and this line. So at this title line, I will say border thin bottom see, and if you want, we will also provide borders to the field, border, and those would be the vertical borders. So border on the left, thin left, and here, thin left. Now see. But do you see there's a breakage in between? Right? Because it's the two different lines and they will have some spaces in between. At path level, we will have another attribute which says common borders. Yes. Now this common borders helps me to remove those line breakages. Right? Clear, everybody? And if I want, I can have another border which says thin top bottom. We do have that, right? Here's a list of the entire thing. You can use whichever you want: double top, thick top, thin bottom, flush, thin, double bottom, full double bottom, and we have a list of default borders available. You can use them. It's a column title, so you can use that. Yes, it's a column titles border, right? So we can use this border. Yeah. Right? Everybody? I have a question from Muthu. Muthu has asked a question. While you check the TDL, or probably I understand you are asking compile TDL, just before Tally crashed, there was an error which said the collection is not defined. Why was that error not showed when you compiled it? I understand the question that you have. A compilation can show an error for a collection when it is a procedural language, and not when it's a non-procedural language, because at that given point of time, it understands that there are multiple files and that collection will be available in one of the files. So only when the only when the report is executed, that's when you hit enter on it, it tries to reach the collection, and it fails to reach the collection is when it gives an error. So compilation gives an error more for the interfaces and not much for the data. Clear? Right, Muthu? Everybody clear with this? understood why we are making use of other attributes? Why we are using scroll vertical? This helps us to allow the lines to scroll off the screen vertically. Right? And why common borders? Yes, this helps to cover the borders across the lines from top to bottom. Clear? This helps to beautify the title line. This provides a border to my column line, a column title line. Everybody clear with this? Another question? Any other questions? So are you clear on understanding on how to create a TDL object, a static object? Any questions on this? Line default, Joseph, it is default line 0 and not line default 0. Okay. See, when I don't provide this part of the code, when I don't provide line default, default line 0, this is what my output looks like. By default, the value of a field will be showcased on a single line. That's a default behavior, right? Now, that's how when I do that, this is how my commission in percentage text looks like. A very little convoluted area. Increasing the width does not make a sense because my percentages would not be more than that, right? So what do we do is, what line 0 will do is, depending upon the width of this text, divide by the width of the field, automatically number of lines will be created and will be broken to show me the output. Now did you understand? Most of the fields in default, we have given the line number of lines at the field, like voucher collection. If you see, you can add, it breaks into multiple lines automatically because we've given lines colon 2 or 3 or 4. But in this case, I will keep adding number of fields. Probably in future, I might have 35 fields. I am not going to keep calculating the number of lines that I will have for my title. So I simply provide lines colon default line colon 0. So the breaking of this title line into multiple lines of a field will happen automatically. Clear? right? So with small changes, the code is beautified also. Everybody understood this? This is provided so that we can have a percentage sign after the number that is displayed. Clear? Instead of this, I should have written format attribute with value percentage. Yeah. Clear? Any doubts that you would like to know? Anything? Brand mark? Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Alay Khan.
I need one,
Yes.
one thing, ma'am. The one, how, like example, in Godon name, I did that stock report, the one yesterday you told, no?
Yes.
One column I did stock name, another column I did stock rate, another column I did stock, this one, total stock quantity.
Okay.
In that quantity, it is showing the main location quantity, right? Total of all locations.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
So whether it is possible, I can make it in columns. How I can do that if it is possible? I will try from my side. If you are giving me the hint, like location, I have to make the new collection, or how it's going to be?
We are at
Like
step.
I want to make.
We are at step
3.
Yeah.
3.
So don't
Step
worry.
3. Yeah.
We are at step 3.
Okay.
Don't worry. We will come to step 10.
We will come to step 10.
Okay.
Right?
Fine. No problem.
Okay. Alay has a question. He said that his dates were not displaying in his report. Right, you are absolutely right. He has troubleshooted his problem also. He is using education mode of Tally. In education mode of Tally, only 1st, 2nd and 31st of every month can be used as your dates. Later on we'll think. Muttu has, I think, field border thin given to every field. Can it make default? Muttu, I didn't purposely give it as default for one simple reason. My first field will also get the column, and which makes no sense of giving that. Anyways, if you want, yes, we can do that. I can simply say at this line, local field default border thin left, and from rest I can remove it. But you see, then my agent also gets the border. Right? Fair enough? Okay. So, yeah, there are a lot of things that you can do on a hit and trial basis. So, I'm just giving you some basic tips that you can use to beautify your code. Then what you can do is, you can provide, like, let's make this as a body part. And we will add another part to this. And we make that as a title part. And there is a question from Joseph. Can we make the form grow as you populate the data? Joseph, TTL is quite sensitive. The number of fields you increase, it will automatically start increasing the form size. However, if you want to, you can provide with 100% of screen, and we'll change the background color, and we might give some better color to it. Control J CULR, and we say active window color is already there, aquamarine, blue, blend, and we take the gray color of this background here. Part title, here I give line. Here I will make use of a title line. Okay. And then I define it. And I make use of a field which is by default available, use name field. I'll use the template field. Here, I'm using the name field, and I will locally modify it. This is also fair enough. I can do that also. Local field, name field, set as list, or you can see list of agents and their details. Now you will question, where have I made this definition field? I haven't made it, but it's there in the default TDL. So I do not have to worry about it. Let's see how this output looks like. I have Control TDL F4. And if I want, I can just full width, yes, and this is how it will look like, and I can align it center. Yeah, and there is something called as wide spaced, yes, yeah. And if I want, I can give a space at my bottom of this line, and I can say space bottom, I say 1.0. See? Then if I want, I can change the style of this field. Style, Control J, style, something that's a part of my large. We'll change this to large, sort of bold. Here. Yeah. See? So many things can we do. And what we did is only beautifying the code, nothing else. Clear, everybody? Does this report look more promising to the customer? See, at times, it's easy to bring the data, but it's very difficult to present it. Presentation is equally important. Right? Joseph, Brand, Ali, everybody clear with this?
Yeah, clear, ma'am.
Great. No doubts? Everybody no doubts, right? Shahid? Shahid, I don't see you responding today. What is the issue? So we did this, right? We created the agent name and the commission agent list details from the hard-coded objects. Then we spoke about the collection as a bridge. It acts as a bridge between the interface and the sources of the object. So when it's at the report level, it's a single object, and when it's at the line object, it can be a collection. Then various methods, out of which we have already seen a single dollar. And we spoke about changing the object contexts, method formula syntaxes with single dots, double dots, triple dots, empty brackets, and everything. And some examples, what we referred to, and some rules. And this is what you had all of you to try it out, right? So I will also create this report. And Ali, please don't mind that I am using your report that you have created. It's because it's a pretty set up report. Just a sec. I don't remember whose previous code was which I saw here, but you need to work on your coding standards. So this is the code that Ali has already made. So we'll make use of the same code. So try it out, properties, add an existing file. I'll add this file, save, right. Here. So the try it out code says, I need to showcase voucher date, voucher type, voucher number, party ledger name, party opening balance, and party's first opening bill name or bill balance, whatever, right? So to some extent, so how many of you have tried this code? Brand has tried, great. Obviously, Muttu has tried, Ali has tried. Shahid and Raj, no, I didn't get the code from you. Joseph, no, I got the code from you. Why so? Thomas, I didn't get the code from you either. Right, so there's a code that he has generated already. So display collections menu, a voucher list. So now you know how to solve this problem of the columns. So what do I use? How do I solve this problem of the column not having the lines?
Common border, yes, we have to do.
Common borders, yes, but I cannot do it. I cannot do it for this particular code. You know why? Because it is into a form and it has two different parts. So what I will have to do is I will have to have a part, a main part.
Yeah, two parts we will combine to one part, and that part we will apply a common border.
Correct. But this is vertical. The moment I do this, the parts will become horizontal. Want to see this? See the output. This is how it will become. Because the form will have vertical parts. Another thing, this is incorrect because I have to get the list. Okay, so this was incorrect. So, form will have vertical parts, but part will have horizontal parts. So this is how my data will display. Is this a correct display? No. I will have to change these parts to vertical. So at part level, I have an option to say vertical. That means, should I make this part vertical? Yes. And now see the output. Correct? And here I can say common border. Yes. So I'm getting it. But I am not getting the party ledger name. So if I don't get the party ledger name, it would become almost impossible to get me the party opening balance, because if I don't get the name, how do I know which party is this? And if I don't know which party is this, the opening balance impossible, and the first opening bill balance becomes more impossible. Ouch. But why am I not getting the party name? Is the method name incorrect? Party ledger name, method name incorrect? No, it's not incorrect. Fine. So we'll troubleshoot why this is not coming. Right? Because if you look at my code, I am getting in my code. So there has to be something wrong. Method name is correct. Right? So we'll troubleshoot that point also. So shall we first troubleshoot that? Or rather we go with the basic capabilities first. So what's a union? So just keep in mind, we have to troubleshoot one part of the code is we are not getting the party ledger name into our code. So collection of collections contain, what's the union of a collection? A union of a collection is two collections together. So we already saw for the hard-coded objects, we gave the attribute called object. Similarly, a collection has an attribute called collection, and the collection names can be comma listed. Now, these collections can be an internal collection or can be a TDL collection, either of them. So there is a grouping of collections and groups that we have done, and we can write a report on that. Then there are certain attributes that we can use at that level. Child of belongs to and filter. These are the attributes we have at the collection level. And then there are filter functions. We'll do one thing one by one. We will start pushing these attributes into our current code, and we'll see how this works. Okay? So we have this pending. We'll keep this on hold. So at this, try it out. List of ledgers is what I have. But I only want those ledgers which are a part of sundry debtors group. Okay, I just want those ledgers which are a part of my sundry debtors group. So there is an attribute which is called as child of, which indicates the parent that I want. What parent? The group of sundry debtors. So $, there's a function called group sundry debtors, which indicates, now the indication is the relation between the group name and the ledger object is of child and parent. So this indicates I want type ledgers, I want those ledgers which are a child of group sundry debtors. So now see what we get. However, if you look at this list, sundry assets, and here I go for my sundry debtors, I have so many. I have a group called ABC under which I have another group and I have these ledgers, but it is just providing me a very restricted list, this. This means the moment I say child of group sundry debtors, it brings me only those ledgers which are directly under the group sundry debtors. So what I will do is, let's add few more columns for just to get more information. So I have one for name. I will add another for parent and another for closing balance. Okay? Closing balance is of type amount, so amount field, and set as closing balance. So F12 TDL F4. Yeah. So you see, I have got listed with the ledgers which are under sundry debtors, but these are those ledgers which are directly under sundry debtors. I want all those ledgers which are directly or indirectly under sundry debtors. So to get those ledgers, whether directly or indirectly under sundry debtors, there is an attribute called belongs to. The value is yes. The moment I write belongs to yes, so whether it is directly in the sundry debtors or indirectly under sundry debtors, it gets listed. So do you see this? So the original group name, say South debtors, might be somewhere under sundry debtors. But I'm not too happy with the output. Okay, so here we saw two things. One is the child of and one is belongs to. Now child of can be used when I want to shorten the list based on the parent-child relationship. But if I want only those debtors, now I'll just make a little change here. Format DRCR. Obviously, my closing balance has to be a DRCR, right? Yeah. So I want to filter all those parties whose closing balance is 0. If the closing balance is empty, I want to remove them from the list. I just want those which have some balance. So right now it is listing all, correct? Child of will help me to filter based on parent. Belongs to validates whether it is into the listing of that or not, but somewhere in the hierarchy of the parent-child relationship. But the filtration that I'm talking about is dependent upon the closing balance. So what do I do is, there is another attribute called filter. It always accepts a system formula as its value. So I say no closing. This has to be created under system formulae. Where we say dollar closing balance is equal to 0. Let's see whether we are getting the output or not. Okay, F12 TDL F4. It reversed it. It is bringing me all those which are equal to 0. So I want all those which are not equal to 0. So this is the sign for not equals to. Now let's see. Clear with everybody? What does the child of do? What does the belongs to do? And what does the filter do? Correct? But right now the sorting, the default sorting that we have is on alphabets. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Right? Let's change the sorting based on the amount that we have. Again, at collection, there is something called as sort. By default, sorting should be on dollar closing balance. Sort my collection by default on closing balance. Let's see the output. You see, all the DRs are on the top and gradually it is moving to CR. Right? Now say I want to reverse this. I want the CRs on the top and the DRs at the bottom. That's a reverse descending search. Just add minus to the beginning of the method. So this is how it will look like. F12 TDL F4. It just reverses what it had to be done. So if I want multiple, comma, dollar, parent. So first it will sort based on closing balance and then on the debtors. Actually, it's the other way around. It should be first on the parent and then on the closing balance. Generally, that's how people look at F12 TDL F4. So if the parent's name is same, then based on the DR's values is what we get up on the high. Clear with the sorting? Everybody. And we just have this. Rachna, Thomas, clear? Clear what we did?
Yes. By default, in Tally date-wise, it will sort, right?
No, by default,
We are not giving any sort.
This is master, so by default it is sort on alphabetical order. In masters, it will sort by default on alphabetical order, A, B, C, D. This party legending. Show the code on the system formula. Okay, system formula. Yeah. In system formula, I have written dollar closing balance is not equal to 0. That's what I want to see in my list. And this sign is for not equal to. the angular brackets facing each other is not equal to. Clear, everybody? Everybody clear?
Ma'am,
Grant, have
regarding
I answered your question?
filter,
Yes,
regarding
filter.
the filter, like we can apply any kind of filter writing any system formula. Like
Absolutely.
example, now we applied the, yeah, okay. Like I can say below 100 only display or only credit show, only debit show, like we can write the filter, right?
There is a function which is called $is dr. Clear?
Clear.
So it filters only for dr.
It will filter only DR.
Yes. So anything is a dr or we do not have something called as is cr, then you have to negate this. It says not dr, obviously then it's a cr. There is a function called is dr, but there is no function called is cr. It's a negation of not dr. Fine. So you see, it's only the credit values now I have in my screen. So Brand, have I answered your question?
Yes.
Right. From Brandmark, I require a list of people, the names of the people who are attending the session with their email IDs.
Ma'am, today I am alone.
Oh, why so?
Like, no, it's like what happened in Tally office, they didn't had this connection and everything. They arranged in our office. So they are other partners actually. They attended only 2 classes. After that, they didn't came. Yesterday, some guys came, and today again they didn't came.
Okay.
I am continuously following, but they are in between two classes. They are disconnected and everything.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is fine, right? Everybody is clear with this? Fair enough? Understood this? Try. You see, gradually, small things we are adding to the code, and now the code has started making some meaning to us. Right? You're just adding small things. You're not adding it's not a rocket science that we're doing. You're just adding small, minimum things to it, and it is started making sense to us. Correct? We did this, sorting we did, searching keys, and this extractions, collection field by keys, grouping criterias, call totals, and then these are the advanced capabilities, the usage of tables. We will be doing the tables, but the integration capabilities is something that we are not going to cover in this session. So what we will do is we will be finishing off on the code that we had left on method formula syntaxes. Okay. Whatever we did till now, everybody clear with this? What is the code? Yeah. Clear with this collection part, the filter, the child of, belongs to, sorting. Filter always accepts a system formula, always. Generally, a system formula is indicated by double add because that's an expression evaluation that happens. However, at filter level, we don't provide a double add because an expectation is that it has to be a system formula. Clear why we are not using double add, everybody? Everybody. I see only very few people responding to it. Why so? Shahid is yes. Brand is yes. Joseph is yes. Rachna.
Yes.
Rachna, where is your response? Thomas, yes. Rachna, I am waiting for your response. Are you clear with this? Right? So gradually we have added small things to our code and it has now started making some meaning. Sort attribute, what is at a default? At a default, that means by default when I enter the report, what should be the sorting method? So that's why sort colon at a default, colon the method names and based on how you want it to sort. So at a default is the keyword for sorting methods, because if you see at other places in default Tally, we do have an option for sorting methods. So that is why we have that option. You see display daybook, we have the sorting methods, right? Each method is is a system formulae which evaluates to an internal system name. So here we have these methods. So by default, what you want to sort it to. So at by default, this is how you want to sort it to. So if you are providing that sorting button, please refer to the default code to check what are these formula names. Okay, we'll be having alphabetical increasing, alphabetical decreasing, amount increasing, amount decreasing, and all those things. Fine? Okay. Clear with this, everybody? Can I just move to the method formula syntax, something that we have not done? Right? And some important attributes of the collection that is important for you people to know. Somebody wanted to ask a question. I just heard somebody unmuted themselves.
No, just I unmuted for to say just clear.
Okay, fine. Right. Right. Now, this is what it is. He said, $party ledger name. This is a right method. The method is not incorrect. So we'll just go through the code. So he has a key, this is a key item. Well, Ali, I just wanted to inform you, the coding standard is quite near to what we are expecting. Just small changes will help you out, right? So this is the report name. This has a form. Form shouldn't be indented. It has a part. I have the part. Everybody clear? Why did I write vertical yes at this part? Correct.
Yes, clear, ma'am.
By default, part under part would be horizontal parts. Hence, to make them vertical, colon yes. Right? Common border is, everybody clear why we use common border? Yes. Then in my headers, I have another part. Why another part under a part? I didn't understand this. Because anyways, you can directly have a line. You do not require this to be separate parts. Okay? We can just judge it into one single line. So all this will become your line. I don't need it to be separate parts. The moment you separate, Ali, the moment you separate them as a part, when you do the repeat line, it will lose its connectivity of the object context. So it is always suggested to be of the same, what do you say, the line. It has to be under the same line definition, same part definition. So we'll just make small changes here. See, when you have it into different parts and you have to do a repeat line, it will lose its object context. So it is suggested that you have it under the same line, under the same part, common line. Fields can be separate but not into separate parts because I need the line to be in the same context. That's the whole point. Otherwise, the object context is lost. The question, I do have my definitions right. Lines. This is my collection. I'll just try to execute it once. If it does not execute, I will just rewrite the entire code. I'm just renaming all his line names. I suppose that's the difficulty. Hopefully that does help. Right click, compile. Okay. I'll just clear all and now I'll just try once again, compile. Okay, doesn't seem to have an error. Let's start. So this is how you troubleshoot your code. Display collections menu voucher list. Okay, but I have it listed in separate lines. So I will have to have a common line which says TUK headers. Oops. And all these as my okay, this will become difficult now. Okay, I'll just copy this. And we'll just have field, and we'll remove the suffix line. If I'm not wrong, okay, I can't do that. Okay, we'll just redefine the entire header line. We'll just have our own fields, or what we'll do is we'll simply chuck this entire part off. Okay, this is my data part, right? And we will use this line. I will not use anything. I'll just simply use this line here and just locally reset the field values. Or let me just copy the field names itself, so it becomes easier for me. Local field name info. For titles, start having practicing this 2, 3, and 4. So this is okay. 3, 4. And where are the other fields? Use not mentioned. I mentioned use. I am not using the line, Muthu. I'm calling the same fields, because there's a difference between use line and the mentioning of the field. If I use the line, the properties or the attributes of the line will be carried forward. So it is okay to leave that apart. Now, where are the other fields that we want? Okay, and we'll just introduce 2 more fields, the 5 and the 6. So 5 and the 6th, 4 and 5, 6. So we have voucher date, and what else did we require? Voucher date, voucher type, voucher number, party ledger name, party opening balance, party first bill opening balance. So I have all. So I need to define this 5 and 6. Five and 6. Okay, now just let's check the output, what we are getting. Okay, voucher date, voucher type, voucher number, party, fine. Now there's a little beautification we will do to this. Local field default style is normal bold. You see, there are certain things that will be common across all the titles that we use. Okay, line center, then line 0. What else? I don't think there's anything else apart from that. And a border which says column title or titles. It's column titles. Yeah. Make sense? No, Muthu, I am not creating separate fields. I am using the same fields which is in the body part, but I am simply copy pasting the field name. The field can be called multiple times. See, there's a difference between when I say use line and I copy paste the field names. Definition is anytime once. If I copy paste the field names, it will only call the field names. If I use the line, whatever I provide within that line definition, probably the border or probably an object context or whatever, everything gets attached to my title line, which I do not want to happen. Right? And one important thing that we can have here is, by default, the data type of all the fields will be of type string. So in case there is a change that happens at any of my data type of the fields, then I don't have to face a problem. Okay. So now the party ledger name does not show, or the party name is not showing. But still it is fetching me the mandate things, that is the voucher date, voucher number and the voucher type. Please note, for the remote capabilities point of view, we have introduced an attribute called fetch. There are certain method names which will get fetched by default, that is the voucher type, name and number, which are mandate ones. However, rest all the ones which you need has to be called explicitly. Am I able to make myself clear? There is an attribute called fetch. This fetch attribute has to be called explicitly to call the method names. There are basic method names which get called automatically, like the voucher date, the voucher number, the voucher type, or the name of the ledger or the parent of the ledger. However, all methods do not get fetched automatically. For those methods, you have to explicitly mention party, you have to explicitly call them. However, as suggested is, whether it is called explicitly or not, it is always better to mention them in my fetch. Take name and voucher number. Let's see what is the output that I'm getting. Okay, or I can make it party ledger name. But my party opening balance is coming empty. So first we have to see whether this field has got attached or not to my data field. So I say background red. You see, I have attached it to my title line, but a human error I have done is I haven't attached it to my data line. It's a human error, right? So that means the last two field is something that I have missed on. So copy and paste the same field names. F12, TDL, F4, accept. Yes, now it is showing me. Okay, now actual, so I can make it as a party ledger name. See, now when I say party ledger name, I'm getting it. Right? But I want to show the party's opening balance. Okay, so what do I need here? Opening balance. Everybody please pay attention. This is something very crucial, very important to understand. I need opening balance. Where does the opening balance of the party reside? Opening balance of the party, where does it reside? From where can I get the opening balance of the party? Absolutely right, Ali. I will get it from the object ledger. But the current object context, what is the current object context? Is it ledger? Current object context is voucher. That's what my line is. Line is scrolling over a collection called some data collection, and it is of type voucher. But the opening balance that I need is from the ledger object. So opening balance colon from the ledger object. Now which ledger? Because I will have lakhs of ledgers. So from which ledger? Colon, I want it from this party ledger. Is the syntax clear? I want opening balance, which is a ledger object of the party ledger name. Is this clear? Let's refresh and check this. F12, TDL, F4. Here it is. But I do not get the DR and the CR here. So what we do is, we'll give the format, DR, CR, because it's a balance. F12, TDL, F4. But I am not getting DRCR. Is it something wrong with the formatting that I have given? F12, TDL, F4. No, let me just quit and restart and check. Does that help me? It is still not helping me. It is not showing me the DRCR. Why? Note, the DRCR will be shown only if it validates and gets that it is of type amount. So we have a default template for amount field, and that's what we will use. So now say F12, TDL, F4. Yeah. Please note the format DRC. By default, every field is of type string. By default, every field is of type string. So in case I need to provide the formatting, it has to be explicitly mentioned that it is a amount field, and only then the DRCR will appear. Clear, everybody? Yes? No? Great. So now Next field that we have is also supposed to be of type amount. So what we'll do is use amount field. Now the value that I want is the opening balance, but the problem is, if it was directly from the ledger, I could have used this as it is. But it is not from the ledger, it is from the bill allocations, which is a sub collection under the primary object ledger, and my current object is voucher. Problem. This means that this is where the TDL stops. We can't do that. I'll tell my customer, sorry, I cannot do this. Can we give this answer to the customer? So what do we do? And this is where the method formula syntax was introduced. I need opening balance from the bill allocations which the first bill which resides dot in the primary object called ledger. Which ledger? Dollar party ledger name. I need opening balance of the first bill allocation of the party from the primary object ledger. This is an expression. That is the reason why I have given dollar party ledger name. Or I could also say hash the field name. Anyways, the field will be giving you the value, right? Now let's see the output. So am I getting the output? Yes. I am not getting the DRs here for simple reason. I haven't provided the format. And I can remove the background. Yeah. Clear, everybody? Is this syntax clear to everybody? Then no question here why I wrote this. Well, I can either write this or this is called fetching of value through referencing, or I can also call through direct method formula syntax, that is dollar open round bracket ledger comma hash the field name close round bracket dot opening balance. This is also correct. This is also correct. I can call it through referencing or I can call it through direct method. However, when I have to go through a sub-object is when I cannot do a referencing, is why I will require a direct method. So now let's refresh.
The performance, how we will call?
Obviously, yes, it impacts the performance.
So which one is faster? Which one is good? Like the previous one, the type we used, or the right now the one we use?
Outsourcing is always faster, or internal is faster?
Yeah, no, yeah, correct. Which one is faster for us?
Yeah.
Internal will be faster.
Internal will be faster. So something that's a direct route is what will be faster, right? So this is the direct route. A direct route is always faster. The reason I am saying this is initially before Tally.ERP 9 release, Series A release 1.0, this is something that was existing and this is something that was not existing. So this could be the reason why you might not feel the impact, because you have the direct way. But initially the syntax did not exist before release, before 1.0 Series A. So this is a change that we have in release from Series A 1.0. But you will also see that multiple places people have used this syntax. Fine?
Yes, clear.
Everybody. Clear with the syntax? So Ali, you now know why your code wasn't working. A fetch attribute is very important while you are showcasing your methods. So if I want something to be fetched. Now this is one thing, that an additional thing that I want to add to this is that I'll just add one more field to this. And I would give the title as item name, stock item name. So what will I do is I'll try to fetch the first stock item name. But right now what I am doing is I am listing all the vouchers, but my payment, receipts and those wouldn't have it, right? Payment and receipt won't have my stock item name. Only my purchase and sales, those kind of vouchers would have it, right? So what will I do is I will filter off my vouchers for that particular type. So first I introduce my field. In this voucher type, voucher, I will filter and I will get only sales voucher and a system formulae, system formulae. So now there is a function called $is sales, which will validate what is the $voucher type name. So if the voucher type name is sales, then only it will get listed into my report. So F12 TDL F4 Oops, I forgot to give a comma. Here. Okay, have I given a comma here? No. Spelling error. Select ABC. Display collections. Yeah. See? Only sales is listing. Clear, everybody? Now, what I want is, I am getting the stock item name, set as, I want the name of the stock item, so $stock item name. But does my stock item name exist in my voucher? How many stock items do you have in one voucher? Only one? How many stock items?
Multiple items.
Absolutely, we can have multiple stock items. So what do is, we hold the set of these stock items together under a collection which is called inventory entries. And since it's a collection, I will have to mention the object name dot the method name dot stock item name. Now, does inventory entries exist under voucher object? Yes, it does. So let us just refresh our tally. Oh, it still didn't give me. Why? This means this is wrong? No, we haven't fetched my inventory entries dot stock item name. Remember I said fetch is important? Yeah.
But if you want to see all the, like, example, if normally detailed option will come, right, in stock summary. Similar way, can we make it as a detail like this? How we can do that?
Again, today we are at step 4.
Okay.
Don't worry, we have that also. Right? So, right now, fetch is important, is something that you need to remember. Fetch attribute helps me to fetch the method names and the collections and the sub-collections value. Here I started with the ledger object because the value that I need is not in the voucher but into another primary object. It's an absolute path, and inventory entries exist in the voucher object, and that is why I haven't mentioned the primary object. I have started with the inventory entries because anyways the current object is inventory entries. Clear, everybody?
Clear.
So similarly, if I need to fetch, I will have to mention. But then this is a little problem because obviously every time I do fetch values in future, I will have to keep explicitly adding the method names to my collection, and I might forget to do that. And once you reach at a little advanced level, it gets difficult to troubleshoot these kind of minute things. So, and definitely in default Tally, we cannot sit writing the method names explicitly because there will be a numerous and humongous list of method names. So, there's one simple thing that we have done is, rather than writing this, asterisk, which means all methods, and collections, comma, inventory entries dot asterisk, which means all methods and collections of inventory entries, comma, inventory entries dot batch allocations dot question mark, which means only the methods of batch allocations. These are the wildcards that we have. Asterisk at voucher level means all methods and collections that are available at voucher. Comma, inventory entries is a collection at object voucher dot asterisk, which means all methods and collections of inventory entries. Comma, inventory entries dot batch allocations dot question mark. Question mark means indicate only the method name. Clear, everybody? What's the difference between an asterisk and a question mark? In case I write a question mark at this level, my batch allocations wouldn't get fetched. So I need to provide an asterisk. Everybody clear with the wildcards? So now tomorrow, if I add another field, say here, inventory entries first dot batch allocations dot batch name I can do that. These are called wildcards. Everybody clear with this?
Yes, clear, ma'am.
Understood how to use these wildcards? Shahid, clear? Shahid, are you there? Joseph, Muttu, are you clear with this? How to use wildcards? Great. So this is type voucher primary object directly. Now there is something called as filter and there is something called as child of. Okay, now let me explain you the difference between a child of and a filter. What does filter, how does this collection work technically is, it gathers every information it can, and after that, when it looks at that, there's something called as filter, it relooks into the collection and filters out the required objects. Filter, a collection behavior is, okay, now it's like an employee recruitment. What you do is, you just send and there's an internal IJP happening and everybody's resumes just flow into you, just flow into a common ID to HR. After that entire HR resumes are received, one by opening it, they validate from which department role they want the people, and then they filter out, okay, I received 6 from R&D and I required a technical people from R&D only, so they start filtering it out. So what happens? First, the entire huge chunk is received in the collection, and then the relook happens in the collection to remove what is required. So what happens is, first the unnecessary data is captured and then the things are sorted out. What if this happens before we start gathering the resumes? if I simply say that there is an IJP happening in the R&D, automatically I will receive resumes only from technical people. Correct? So the sorting and the filtering can happen secondary, that whether the person is suitable or not. But at least when I receive the resume, that resume will be only of the technical people. Am I right? So this is the way you can do filtration of collection for sales voucher. These kind of collections are called primary object collections. Okay, we'll just take a break here. I have received a question from Shahid which says, what will happen if I give inventory entries dot batch allocations dot asterisk? In this case, Shahid, it will bring me all the method names and the collection names at batch allocations. If I see, what will happen is the number of fetches you increase by giving an asterisk. It is a huge chunk of schema. I'll just show you the schema that we have. Schema, voucher, having inventories, having batch allocations, batches further having additional details, and then it is also having something called as voucher components. So all this gets fetched till this level when you asterisk, and this is an unnecessary or some data that you don't require. So when I give a question mark, only the methods of this batch allocation will get fetched. So these green books won't get fetched. Clear? Anybody, any other question? Because I wanted to explain some different concept on the collection. Clear, everybody? Why asterisk and why question mark?
Clear.
Muthu said, but while you give inventory entries dot asterisk, it will fetch inventory entries batch allocations. It will fetch inventory entry batch allocations, but not the methods of batch allocations. It will fetch batch allocations, but not the method and sub-collections of batch allocations. This is the question Muthu asked. While you give inventory entries dot asterisk, it will fetch inventory entries dot batch allocations also. Yes, it will fetch the batch allocations collection, but not its methods. So I will have to explicitly mention it. Okay? Right. So I'll just continue to what I was explaining. I explained about the behavior of the filter and the behavior of the child of, where I said the filter, what the filter will do is, first it will allow the collection to collate whatever is available, and then it will relook upon and just pull whatever is required. So that's a performance that gets impacted is because first unnecessary data is relooked upon and then the filtration happens. So that if I could get some better way to do this, it would have been it would have increased my performance, that before I could get the data, I get only the required data, and then if I require some kind of filtrations, I can do. Which means if I can get something that helps me to fetch my data based on some required object type, like ledger of particular voucher or vouchers of a particular voucher type, right? If that could have been given, then it would have made my work, not my work, but the performance would have increased. So the kind of collection that you see on your screen is called a primary object collection. We also have something similar to it colon vouchers of voucher type vouchers of voucher type. Which voucher type? Child of $VCH, voucher, VCH type sales. This will again bring me only those vouchers which are directly under voucher type sales. So I will say belongs to yes. So if there are other voucher types created under sales voucher types, it will fetch them. And fetch is equally mandatory. Right now, we do not see the performance impact because there are just hardly some hundreds of entries. So we don't see the impact of filter. But when it is a huge number, humongous number, where it goes into lakhs and then you have to filter, it becomes very difficult. So these are called secondary object collections. When I give directly type voucher, it brings me all the vouchers and I can say filter. But if I want the vouchers of a particular voucher type, I can say type colon vouchers, colon voucher type, child of VCS type sales, belongs to yes. And it brings me the vouchers of all the voucher type. Similarly, if I want I want all the vouchers of a particular ledger, I can say type colon vouchers, colon ledger, child of, I give the ledger name, that could be through probably a variable or something. See, I'll just give some name. I have something called as RAM and CO. Now, obviously, ledger cannot have a ledger, so belongs to yes is meaningless here. Or say of a particular group, then belongs to makes a sense here. And I say $, group sundry debtors. And it brings me all the vouchers of those ledgers which are directly or indirectly under sundry debtors. Does it make sense? Yes, no. Shahid has a question. He is asking, is it faster than first collection? Shahid, that is what I explained. The difference between the filter and the child of. Filter starts re-looking into the gathered data and removes or picks the required data. Whereas child of, before it starts gathering, it directly starts picking up what you require. So is it faster? Yes, it is faster. But every collection can have only one child of at one given point of time. So again, if you have to filter for multiple voucher types, you have to create multiple collections with multiple child of and create a union of that collection and then showcase the data. Clear? I'm extremely sorry, but could I know who is connected from Brandmark?
Sir, Brandmark is company name. Asad Ali is my name.
Asad, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So Asad, is this clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Right. I just asked because I didn't like addressing you as Brandmark. Right? Joseph, Muttu, Rachna, Shahid, everybody clear the difference These are primary object collections. This is secondary object collections. We have vouchers. We have type colon vouchers colon group, ledger, voucher type, stock items, stock group, cost center. Again, you can discover what all we have. But obviously, this will go a little faster compared to the filter part. Clear? Again, child of will take only one parent. So in case you have to give multiple parents, you will have to create different collections and union them. Clear?
Clear.
Right. So you'll
normally
be able
in report level we can use that child of as a, we can give any variable, right? Like you were saying.
Child of, yes, can be child of can be any expression, can be a variable, can be a system formula, can be a field reference, can be a function, anything, any expression.
So this we can use in report level. If somebody wants to pull particular group, he can write the group name and we will link that variable here so that it will pull that particular group report.
Display, account book, group vouchers. Oops, I don't have any voucher there. Sundry, debtors, all that's true. This is what we have done, right? So I think I am answering your question, but you just have to be a little patient because we haven't started with the interactive reports. Right now, whatever we are doing through hard-coded values of filtrations of the collection and all those things. So that's okay. So gradually we'll move to the interactive reports also. So every question that you have asked will be answered. Don't worry. Fine? Any other question on this? So tomorrow, what reports can I expect from everybody? Everybody, I think today we have only 8 people attending. Wow, the drastic fall from 38 to 8 is a humongous number for me. I need to check why they are not attending. Yes. So what should we have for tomorrow? Try it out. Union is simple. Child of belongs to filter I have shown. And these are all functions. Sorting I showed. Searching we have seen. Extraction of value. Extraction of that is just you call the required method names. Then based on requirement there are functions that we have. Collectioning, total, filters, values. There is a function called call qty total. There's something called call num total. There is integration capabilities. Pop-up tables is something that we will do when we are working on user-defined fields, so that everything falls into place. Right. So there are some integration capabilities that we have: HTTP XML collection and dynamic object support. The integration capabilities that we talk about, the HTTP XML capabilities is what we have used for remote capabilities or the support center, the control centers. All that you see is working on this HTTP web service XML. And that's what we have for today. So now if you have a question, is what you will have to ask. So any questions, anybody? Clear?
No, clear, ma'am. This one is clear. And we have not got the link of that download, ma'am.
I have sent. I think everybody has received it. I have sent it.
It's from IT email or from your email, ma'am?
It's from my email.
No. Because last email I received from your side is that same thing. Thanks for the sending that. I'm glad to receive that. That's the only email I received.
Extending. Here.
Mine is Asad dot.
It's a mass
But
mail.
mine.
So it has to be there.
Okay.
It's a mass mailing. If you're receiving my, aren't you receiving my reminder mail?
No. Just I received only one email from your side.
Then probably for this I do
I'm not in your list.
Yes, that's the only problem.
Yeah, you can send me this one, ma'am. Just you can forward now itself, right?
Fine?
Asad dot.
No, it's in the chat. Just copy paste it. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
See, now you are getting the recorded webinars. So, any questions, anybody?
So till now it is clear, ma'am. Once we start practicing, then we might get more doubts.
So that is why we are having time frames. I have provided you try it out. Ali, do you have any doubts? Rachna. Shahid, doubts? Fine. So I leave up to your creativity. You create a code of your own that compromises of all the capabilities and all the attributes that we have done. I'm leaving it up to your creativity. As a developer, you have to be creative enough, right? So I am leaving it up to your creativity. You can provide me whatever report you want to, but should compromise of most of the capabilities that we have done up till now. Fine? Everybody?
Okay, ma'am, fine. No problem. We will try our best to do something.
Never tried. We will do it.
Yeah, we do it. Because what happens when last time I did two TDLs. I tried a lot, but I'm not getting. But I asked someone.
That's absolutely okay.
Okay, fine. No problem. By today evening, I will send you all our courses. I'm having around 7 course reports I tried. I will send you all. With that, 2 are not working.
No problem. See, it is
okay
that the code does not work. I wrote my first working TDL after 2 months of learning TDL. So that's absolutely okay. It's not demotivating thing or something, but only when you start practicing and start troubleshooting your own codes is when you learn more.
Okay, ma'am.
So it's okay when you don't. It's absolutely okay if the code does not work. And important is
I'm going to samples. I'm taking the samples. I'm just trying from samples. Then I'm doing myself I'm doing like that.
Okay. Rachna says it is taking time because Tally environment. Rachna, Tally installation does not take so much of time. Why is it taking so much of time to install Tally? Shouldn't take. I'm setting up the environment for Tally again. Tally developer also, you can join in the educational mode. Only thing is you have to attach the file externally, that's okay. But start writing codes. Who else is left? Joseph, don't run away. I need the codes from you.
Ma'am, you got my email to send that link?
I'll do that.
I sent one email as a, like, please send me the link, so.
Right, fine. Right? So anybody, any other doubts, clarification? So shall we end the session for the day? Tomorrow we'll be starting with the actions that we have in TDL, and the reports that we have developed will become more interactive. Right? So please take enough time to spend on associating your interface and data, and all the data contexts that you can understand. Clear up your doubts with me, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. And you have any clarifications, please revert through mail, send me your codes. Whatever you have tried may not be working. You might feel it's dumb to send something. Don't worry. I have gone through that same phase what you are in today. So it's absolutely okay if the code is not working and you feel dumb. It's okay to feel dumb. But we will ensure that you troubleshoot your own code. Fair enough? Okay. So we'll start leaving the session. Right? Okay. Yeah. You may start leaving the session. Thank you, Shahid. Have a nice day. Thank you, Muthu. Thank you, Allied. Thank you, Rachna. Bye. Have a nice day.